love me some Liam Neeson action thrillers. They can be great, they can be bad, but most of the time, they're pretty much just fun. Sadly, though, I wanted more from this film. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing Blacklight, starring the likes of Liam Neeson, directed by Mark Williams, and it of course is about a man, Travis Block, who is a government operative coming to terms with the shadowy past. When he discovers a plot targeting US citizens, Block finds himself in the crosshairs of the FBI director he once helped protect. Like I mentioned in my intro, I really enjoy Liam Neeson action movies. I think a lot of them can actually be kind of just surprisingly fun. No matter if they're good, bad, most of the time you can find some fun to be had. And I will say, as much as I wanted more from this movie, and I just found the movie to just be overall fine, it's not great, it's not good, it's not even bad, it's just fine. Like, this is the definition of a fine movie. There's still some entertaining values in here. I didn't think this was a total shitbox, and I do have some pros to it, and we'll talk about those in a second. But when it comes down to Liam Neeson, I find that I wish this guy would do more dramas. Schindler's List, Silence, this guy is one of the best actors out there, and starting with one of my big pros for the movie is Liam Neeson. This guy, it does not matter what role he is in, what movie he is in, he is always giving 110% of his livelihood into that performance. And that's something that we cannot always see from actors, especially Bruce Willis, who acts in so many crap boxes every single year. And every time he does, he just walks and mails it in. And he even does that in some of the bigger blockbusters that we see him in. But when you look at Liam Neeson, this guy comes to act every single time. It doesn't matter if you put a banana in his hand and tell him to pretend it's a gun. Like, he will pretend that that banana is a gun. And that's what I've always appreciated about Liam Neeson. I think he absolutely is one of the big reasons to see this movie and one of my biggest pros that got me through the film. I think actually his performance rises this from being a bad movie or even just an okay film to that fine level. As well as the story in here, while it's something that we've absolutely seen before, and I can definitely tell you, you are going to know what point A, point B, and point C is going to be by the middle of this film. It happens again to be interesting. The way that it all connects, it actually kept me interested for the most part in seeing, okay, how is this subplot going to tie into this one? How is that going to turn into this? How are they going to figure out what is going on and how are they going to save the day? And I actually will also say this. Action, I am a very big connoisseur too. Whether it's action or horror movies, there's two specific things in those two genres that I'm very, very, very strict with. Horror films, it's jump scares. Absolutely hate them, but if you can execute it right, it's going to work. But when it comes down to action movies, it comes down to your editing and your choreograph. Now, I know choreographing is probably very difficult, but also shooting those shots and fight scenes can be also difficult. So a lot of time they'll shake up the camera or shake up the editing, and I will thankfully say there's not a lot of shaky cam in this. Some of the editing's a little bit too much, I would say, and has some jarring editing moments to it, but overall, the action scenes were doable, and I didn't hate them. In fact, the final action scene made me laugh because it's pretty much Home Alone. It takes place as Home Alone, and Liam Neeson's just prepping the house ready to kick some ass. That's the thing, Liam Neeson is just a certified badass in this movie, and that's what I enjoy, is watching him wreck shop. I actually do want to give a shout out to one of the other actresses in here, played by EMMY RAVER-LAMPMAN. I thought she was one of the bigger standouts as well, having more of not the FBI outlook, but of the media outlook of what is going on. And I found that to be, again, one of the more interesting aspects of this entire film. Let's jump over to my mixed aspects. And again, this is some of the things I do want to say is that you've seen this movie before. It's generic on those levels. And even again, while I was intrigued with what was going on, you've seen it thousands of times. Maybe evolutions of it, maybe it's a little bit tad different here and there in the way it's executed, but overall you know what's going to happen. And it's the same role that Liam Neeson's been pretty much playing in almost every single action movie for the last 10 years since he did Taken. I mean, it's probably been longer since 10 years since Taken, but this is what he's been doing for pretty much the back half of his career. That's kind of where I feel like it just goes down to it, is that the movie never gripped me. I never felt emotionally invested with what they were trying to show me within Liam Neeson. As well, this movie was marketed to be an action movie. In fact, the tagline for this movie is they are going to need more men. I'm going to tell you right now, there's not that much action in this film. It's more of a drama in a sense. There's moments where he just is with his family, trying to reconcile and do better. It's nice as an emotional attachment, but I just never could truly get into it, and I expected more in those moments. While adding in there, it just had this very generic overview of it all. It's a movie that I've seen before. It's not one that I feel like will shake the genre up at all. Maybe that's what you're looking for, but for me, when it comes down to action movies, I like to spend my time going and watching something that's gonna blow my mind, not something that I literally see thousands of times and they just frustrate me to no end. Not to say that this movie frustrated me, it's just, again, it's fine. It's the generic movie that you've seen so many times before. And of course, before we get to my final thoughts, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What's your favorite Liam Neeson action movie other than Taken? Let's take that down there in the comment section. As well, what are your thoughts on Blacklight? Are you looking forward to this movie? Are you not? Let's discuss it down there. As well as hit that like and subscribe button, because I love talking movies and TV over here on a daily basis. I'm a movie geek, you're a movie geek, and I'm sure we're gonna have some fun over here. Overall, Blacklight, it's a solid movie. It's fine. It's generic to all ends. Liam Neeson plays the exact same role, but he gives 110% to it. There's some differences to the plot, but you pretty much know where it's gonna go, and the action didn't piss me off. There's some fun moments to be had in here, even though there's not enough action. This is definitely more of a dramatic thriller that has some tense moments to it that were filmed fine and edited fine. Nothing that's gonna blow your mind. You're kind of just gonna watch this, shove popcorn in your face, and probably forget about it in the next couple of minutes. But I think if you are a fan of almost every single Liam Neeson action movie, even some of the worst ones, you're gonna find some good values in here. So with all that said, I'm going to give Blacklight a C-. I wanted more from this one because I feel like the plot of itself could have been elevated to another level. The action, all sorts of things like that. There were just certain things I was sitting there going, you could do a lot more here. It's not that modern problem that you have with action films all the time now, but it is one of those where it's just like, really, Liam? Let's see you do something else, man. Overall, guys, thank you so much again for watching this. Again, hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts, head on over to Sam Trent Films on how to see movies early, and of course, just in general, until next time, have a great day and stay classy.